Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today is General Ravi Shankar, and we are going to be talking about what is happening in Iran. Was that a nuclear test or was that an earthquake? Well, either way, we are going to be looking at the pros and cons and what Israel is going to probably do next. All this and more in this session. Now, before we proceed, a lot of work has gone into this. We would request you, whether you're watching it from Gunner Shot or from P Gurus, to please like this video so that we get the maximum virality. Now let's welcome Lieutenant General Ravi Shankar. Ravi Shankar sir, namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you, sir?
Namaskar. Thanks a lot. Pleasure to be back. P Guru's our weekly hangout. And today it's going to be
Thank
very
you so much,
interesting.
sir. Thank you so much, sir. In fact, next viewers, we are going to have another session which might not be part of our weekly thing, where I'm requesting General Ravi Shankar to talk about the role of the Indian soldier in World War I and World War II. As a general, he will offer his perspective. What were the promises given for somebody to go and fight a war on someone else's behalf halfway across the world? There was no planes those days. You had to go by ship only. So a lot of that stuff we are going to cover. And before we jump into today's topic, I want to just introduce to you a person who has been the visionary behind this project Marigold. Here you go. Meet Kumar Bala and his wonderful wife. They are standing here with their MP. He lives in United Kingdom. Her name is Laura Kirk Smith, and they are all, as you can see, wearing the Marigold, and she is supporting us in this mission Marigold, where we are try and tell people the contributions of the Indian soldiers in both world wars. I've done a special monologue on this. You all have seen it already probably. If not, you can go and watch it. We'll put that thing in the comment section. We'll pin it so you can watch it. And we are selling these things today in the United States, packs of 5 in $10 at $10 a piece. So please get your pack today, and I would love all of you to wear this thing between now and November 11th, and you can wear it anytime you want. And I'm going to try and give you some write-up also that you can download and print, so that you know what exactly is the reason why we are doing it. We're having 3 or 4 programs specifically tailored to this, and do come and support us on that. Now let's welcome back General Ravi Shankar. Sir, the show is yours.
Thank you. So we are talking of Iran and nuclear and all that. And why we're talking of it? I mean, let's put it that way. We're talking of it because there was an earthquake and uh, Israel is supposed to attack Iran any of these days. And the general talk is Israel will take out the Iranian nuclear facilities or its oil, and a lot of talk on all this. A lot of times we tribalize what Iran is. And you think it's a foolish country and it's something, you just run over the set of mad mullahs running this country. To some extent, it's right, but remember, Iran is a civilizational state. It's not going to keel over easily. Iranis are very smart people and they're very intelligent people, right? They're trapped in their own circumstances. Uh, so you have to be very careful when pass disparaging remarks about Iranian capability. So the issue about nuclear and all that. So I said, okay, let me go into it. So when I went into it was quite surprising. To be very honest, it opened my eyes. And I'm going to share it with you. Uh, it will not be the outcome which you all think will happen. That's the first thing you have to understand. And we are on the verge of something which is in the future, which will happen, and we have to start living with it. So let's put on the presentation and I'll take you through that.
Sir.
Yeah. Look, we're going to talk of the dynamics of a nuclear Iran. You see this map? I got this nice little map. Look at Israel, look at Iran. The yellow dots on this are the nuclear sites of Iran. And see the gulf between Israel and Iran. Now, if Israel has to attack Iran, it has to overfly the countries in between, which are hostile. So it has to reroute otherwise through Saudis and all that. So that is the issue. And taking out so many nuclear sites is let me put it at the outset, it is way beyond Israel. Israel simply doesn't have the capability of taking out Iranian nuclear sites. But what can it do is what we will say. So this is the first statement I want to give. Equally, Iran has to cross this 1300 kilometers or 1500 kilometers to Israel, even if it has nuclear weapons, to land in Israel. A lot of things can happen in 1500 kilometers. So we'll talk of that also. So the nuclear Iran is full of, mysteries which we will now unravel. Okay. The first thing, 6th October, 5 days back, uh, earthquake came, 4.5 magnitude. And for some whatever reason, one day before that, air traffic over Iran was banned. And after that, many people have not gone over there. This is the place where it went. And immediately the social media was abuzz that, look, Iran has carried out, nuclear tests. And then I said, okay, there was an Armenian site which said, look, the waveforms from this suggest there are no aftershocks. Normally, in any normal earthquake, there's aftershocks X, Y, Z. So I went to the USGS website, and this is the earthquake monitoring state thing. So they showed this is the site I've made. That's the place where it has gone, same place. And this is it in a closer thing. A lot of people in social media said, look, this earthquake has happened at a place where no earthquakes have happened earlier. So they almost everyone in the social media was pointing to the fact that this was a nuclear test. Right. Just keep this at the back of the mind, and as we go along, we'll unravel it. Right. I went searched other websites. Now, one website, there's not the USGS website, there's this Middle Eastern website. They came out with this. They said that on 5th October, there were two blasts, or rather, the two earthquakes, as shown here, and both in the region of 4.5, 4.1. So, this is the only site which said there were two. Okay. And in fact, this is not the only site which said it. I'll come a little later to more. There are more. Now, I said, how many earthquakes in Iran since 1950? You look at this. Except the central part of Iran, everywhere else along the ring of Iran, there have been earthquakes. Iran is sitting on two fault lines. That's why it has a lot of earthquakes. Okay. So does this new, do these earthquakes fall in place here? They do. It's not out of tune. Then I went into another site and checked. And there I found, okay, in the last 1 month, 4 weeks, I went back into 4 weeks and said, how many quakes have occurred? You have a look at this. Some have occurred in Turkmenistan, some in Afghanistan, some in the middle of Iran, some at the edge of Iran. It goes with this in just 4 weeks, and all in the magnitude of 4. So, so what's so special about this which has happened? What's so special about this? Nothing. The way I look at it, nothing, except that it could have been a nuclear, uh, test. Fine. So it could have been a nuclear test. Let's assume it was a nuclear test and not just a normal earthquake. So what next? That's the next question. What if Iran has gone nuclear? What do you do? Now you have a devil on your hands. Let's look at it. These are the possibilities. Earthquake has happened, but it's a new. On the left side, the red one is Iran has tested. So what if? Logically, you can expect a Israeli attack to preempt Iran. That's what everyone says. So that you can, it strikes the Iranian nuclear facilities and all that and denuclearizes Iran. That's one possibility. The other possibility is this might start Iran starting nuclear posturing. After all, it said, look, now I am a nuclear state, or it is conveyed to everyone without disclosing that it's a nuclear state, and they will start posturing to attack Israel. That's also feasible. War is not one-sided; it is two-sided. It could also threaten the Gulf and the shipping there, which it already has in some manner. And then there's what's the role of Russia and China? These are all questions which have come up. Okay, Iran might not have tested. That's also feasible. It's only an earthquake. In which case, whatever has come out that it's a test and all could be fake news by Israel. And that fake news could be spread so that it can attack Iran. Isn't it? This is a two-sided game which is going on. It's war. Okay. It could also be fake news by Iran to prevent Israel from attacking it. Look, now I'm nuclear, you try it and I'll show you what you want. So what's the veracity of this news? Does this news gel with the seismic activities recorded by neutral sites? I leave it to your thinking. But whatever way you look at it, USA will react to protect the Gulf. It has to. Okay. And we'll talk of it a little later. Okay. Now, I'm now going into something completely on, I won't say tangent, on a slightly different track. This is the number of warhead inventories as of 2023. Iran is not shown on the. Look at Israel. It has 90 warheads. As per this is the Federation of American Scientists, they've put it out. The figures otherwise are right, almost give or take 10, 20, which will always not be there. Even give take 10, 20, Israel having 90 nuclear weapons is a big issue. So if Israel has 90 weapons and it's not a declared nuclear state, even if Israel has weapons, will it attack Israel?
Iran.
Sorry. Yes, sorry, I'm wrong. I keep mixing up between Israel and Iran. So it must be old age. So is Iran attack Israel just because it has done its nuclear tests? Israel has 90 weapons. Okay, give 20 off, even if it has 10 weapons. So there's a balance already coming in. But then we'll see this. This is not the end of the story. Yeah, you have to understand the whole thing, and then I'll turn a lot of things around. I'm now going to a little bit of nuclear physics. Now, we're all talking of uranium bombs. Natural uranium, which you find in Mother Earth, has only 0.7% of uranium 235. That is the fissionable material. 99% of uranium naturally found is uranium 238, which is not fissionable. It is dead uranium. It's called yellow cake. Now, nuclear weapons require enrichment. And that enrichment means that uranium 235 has to be taken up from 0.7% to 90% or more. When happens, it's called highly enriched uranium. Okay. Now, but for normal thinking, uranium which is more than 20% of U235. Uranium comes in 234, 235, 236, 237, 238. When it becomes uranium 239, it turns into plutonium. I'll come to that also. That's also a very interesting thing. Now, uranium-235 and plutonium-239 are the fissile materials which are bomb material. Okay. So anything more than 20% enrichment can also be used in a nuclear weapon. The only thing when you use 20% enriched uranium in a nuclear weapon is the fission doesn't take place fully. It's not a full bomb. Then it becomes a dirty bomb. Remember this. 20%, it's a dirty bomb. It's a very dirty bomb. Now, when you say nuclear reactors, like Trombe, Kalpakam, wherever they are, nuclear reactors require enrichment to 3 to 5% of uranium-235. That's all. Now, every nuclear reactor has control rods. Those control rods are kept on, in or out and for fissioning. Now, that has just about 3 to 5% of uranium-235. The rest of the control rod is largely uranium-238. Okay. This is low enriched uranium. Like I said, uranium-235 and plutonium-239 are bomb grade. This is the crux of the whole story. Now, what happens? I'm going you
General, if I might
broadly.
ask you a
Yeah,
question,
please.
could you
Yeah.
go back to the previous question, sir? How does thorium compare to all these things? No, go back
Yeah.
one. Yeah, there. Thorium.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thorium is a safe, uh, you know, material. In fact, thorium is the safest material, right, for uh, fission. But thorium by itself is neither radioactive nor is it fissionable. Thorium has to be converted into uranium-233, which is unstable, to break up and get energy. Now that you asked, Sachin, just take this slide off for a minute and I'll get back to this slide.
Yes, sir.
Because I
Go
think
ahead.
we have to talk face to face. You see,
Yeah.
thorium is a very interesting material. And incidentally, India has got the maximum thorium reserves in the world. And we don't have much uranium, but all our nuclear reactors are uranium based. The world didn't go to thorium because in the Western hemisphere, thorium is very little thorium is available. Since they didn't have thorium, research didn't take place on thorium. But in Kerala sands, beaches of Kerala is full of thorium. If you use that thorium, India will be self-sufficient for the next 2,000 years or 20,000 years. It will never finish. If that's the nature of the thorium cycle. Maybe one day I will do this. It will be very technical, but I'm prepared to do it.
No, we should do it, General Ravi Shankar. We need to start educating our people, because
Yeah.
if we
There
don't
is,
do that, they start looking at who said this, who said what. Waste of
no, yeah,
time.
yeah. And I have already done a video on thorium. If you go to Ganashot, all of you who is interested,
Will do.
and press thorium, just press thorium in my search, and you'll get two links on that. Okay, and I've explained the entire thorium cycle in that and where we are. In fact, we are in the world, we are the ones who are the leaders in the thorium research at mass, right? And thorium is a three-stage program, and which we are into already. And very recently, about 4 months back, 5 months back, the Prime Minister, came to Kalpakam and inaugurated the second stage of the thorium cycle, which is a landmark event. So another 5 to 10 years, saying 5 to 10 years, because there are certain technologies which are to be put in place. We should be getting electricity out of thorium, and thorium is based on a molten salt reactor. Uh, right. So I would suggest all of you go to that thing. Sachin, if you can go to Ganashot and pick out that link and put it up, I'll be grateful.
Yeah,
Anyway, so let's.
I'll have to do that. Sachin is off today, Navratri
Okay,
last
fine,
day.
no
So
problem.
I'll do
No,
it.
no, no, no
So I'll
problem.
give you the
Yeah,
floor.
no problem.
No problem, sir. I'll give you
No,
the
no
floor.
problem.
I can listen to you and work in the background. No problem.
Yeah,
Sir,
you do that. Yeah, do that.
go ahead.
You can
Go ahead.
fill it out. Just go to Ganashot and search for thorium.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So this is the uranium 235 and plutonium 239 are bomb grade material. Now the general cycle is you take a neutron, bombard uranium 235, it becomes uranium 236, which is unstable. It fissions and it breaks, and you get energy. That's the bomb. Now, similarly, uranium 238, which I said, look, is there naturally available in the world. If you bombard uranium 238 with a neutron, and neutrons get absorbed into uranium 238, they become uranium 239. That uranium 239 becomes neptunium 239, which turns into plutonium 239 in about 3 days. And that plutonium 239 is fissile material. You can make a bomb. But for that, you need something called a fast breeder reactor, which we have. Iran doesn't have it, but I'm just telling you the broad way bombs are built. I'll not go further into this. Okay, getting back to Iran. Iran was into this whole story of, acquiring a nuclear weapon or nuclear capability, not from now, long back. It started tapping the AQ Khan network. It went to China. It even went to Russia. It went to Europe and started getting material and slowly put its thing together, getting one part by part from each of these countries. China has helped them quite a lot. And they started their enrichment processes. And they got 5% enrichment in July 19, 4 years back. 20% enrichment they reached 4 years back, 3 years back in Jan 21. By April, they were at 60% enrichment capability. Now, what is interesting about Iran was the way Iran has gone about it and the way they work. Though they started at 5%, they went directly to 60% enrichment capability. Normally, all of us, even India, went from 5% to 20%, then went built up to 60%. But Iranians were more ambitious. They tested at 20% enrichment and went to 60%. The latest is, this is a month back news is, it is now producing 9 kg of uranium enriched to 60% uranium 235 per month. This is the current production capability. Now you'll say, how does it matter 9 kgs of uranium enriched to 235, 60%? What is it? We'll come to it. Okay. Now you see the first one. This first one, what is there, is an extract from the IEA report, International Atomic Energy uh, Authority. Okay. IAEA report. Now, as of 12th February 23, that is last year, the estimated total enriched uranium stockpile in the form of UFO, UF6 is the uranium fluoroxide, of Iran was 3,400 kg. So that was 1,500 up to 2%, about 1,300 up to 5% enrichment, plus minus, of course, right? 430% of enrichment up to 60%, and 87 kg uranium then enriched to 60%. Okay. Now, latest, that's the one in yellow, is what has come out in the last 1-2 months. Iran has 167 kg of uranium enriched to 60%. 164. Okay. Now, they need 42 grams, 42 kgs of uranium, which is enriched to 60%, and that amount has to go to 90%. It has to enrich further to 90% to make one bomb. That'll be a small bomb, right? Officially, at this point of time, there is no intimation that Iran has enriched to 90%. Though in one report of IAEA, there is a mention that they have some traces of enrichment up to 80% have come out. Okay. So, which means with the 160 today, 67 kg they have, they can make about 4 bombs. Okay. And if they're going to make 9 kg per month, right? In about 4 to 5 months, 5 months, they should get one bomb. So in a year, they can make 2.5 bombs. Or over 3 years, they can make 5 bombs. Or 2 years, in 2 years, they can make 5 bombs. That's the rate at which Iran today can grow. Tomorrow, it can increase its capacity and do more, but that's a different story. It's not so easy, but this is what Iran's capability is. Okay. Now, neither US nor Israeli intelligence agencies have clear evidence that Iran has decided to build a bomb or has built a bomb. At this point of time, Iran, as per assessment, Iran will need more than a year to accumulate enough fissile material for a warhead, attach it to a delivery system, and conduct a test. Okay, why this is important? You see, they might have fissile material for 4 bombs, but that has to be converted into a bomb, into a warhead, and that warhead has to be mated with a missile, and that has to be tested. It can't just you can do miniaturization, whatever, but something has to be done. Okay. To that extent, we must understand Iran already has a delivery system. It already has missiles and rockets. After all, they fired up to Iran already. Iran has already fired up to Israel. So that part is tested. They have 60% enrichment. They can make a dirty bomb. They need to go to 90% to get a good bomb. Okay, which they will. The estimate, other international estimates are that it will take them at least 1 month to enrich to 90%. They have, not even what they have, some part of it what they have. Probably for the first bomb, enriching up to 90% will take them about a month or two. And after that, they will need 6 months to a year to convert it into a weapon. So that is where it is today. So very clearly, Iran might have tested, I still don't rule it out. But even if they go full steam, it will take them 6 months to have a delivery system. Okay. Further, Iran has repeatedly made it clear that it has no intention to enrich uranium to 90%. But then I will take that with a pinch of salt. For all you know, they might be doing it without anyone knowing. And these things no one tells you. So in any case, all countries speak something and do something else. Okay, now let's look at the Iran's nuclear facilities. They have some mines where they have started getting some amount of uranium. It's not full, but they have. They got a lot of uranium in raw form, yellow cake, from South Africa some time back, and they're using that. So, at some level, availability of uranium will be a problem for Iran, unless, of course, China and Russia give them. And we'll have to see. That's something which has to be seen. Otherwise, they have uranium production plants from the mines. They have an enrichment plant, right, in Natanz and Fordow. And they have a research reactors, which all their experiments have to be done. And they have a nuclear power plant at Bushehr, which is on the left south corner. Okay. So all this is there with Iran. Iran is not a foolish country. They have this extraordinary infrastructure. So everyone must understand that Iran's nuclear capability is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. They are just one screwdriver turn away or a screw turn away from going nuclear. Okay, let's look at Israel. Israel is the only nuclear weapon state in Middle East, but it follows a policy of nuclear ambiguity, and that they have been following from 1963. It has not signed any treaty, and it might have been helped in their tests by USA. I don't see any other way Iran could have had 70 weapons or 70 bombs. So Iran's got, if Iran has got, Israel has also got. So there is some kind of a nuclear deterrence which will come in. The moment nuclear deterrence starts playing in, all these wars will have to stop. The space for war starts reducing. But it's not exactly so in this case, because this scenario is quite unstable. Okay, now let's talk of Iran having. What will, the moment Iran becomes fully nuclear, Iran starts destabilizing the region. What will it do? Like I told you earlier, Iran has the missiles to deliver a nuclear warhead already. But so have Houthis and Hezbollah. They've also been given by this capability by Iran. Any missile, whether any missile can have a warhead. Incidentally, the lowest gun type of a nuclear weapon can be put in a gun, 155 gun. So it's not a great thing. What does Iran having the nuclear weapon mean? It means it can threaten Israel and threaten obliteration. That's one way of looking at it. But then, like I said, then it opens itself to nuclear retaliation. But more importantly, it gives them control of the Islamic world. Now, this next thing, I'll read it out because this is from a news item I picked up. It dramatically enhances Iran's ability to assert its power in the Persian Gulf. It allows Iran to confront US and other foreign forces in the Persian Gulf. Immediately, it becomes at par with US in this area the moment it has nuclear weapons. Then Iran can thereafter start coercing all the small countries like Qatar, Bahrain, all these people for pressing its territorial claims. As it is, Iran and all these other Gulf countries have uh, territorial disputes in the Gulf over the gas fields. So the moment Iran has these, they will tell these chaps, "Bhaiya, hamare paas we have this, so be on the thing." Right. Now, this whole story, Pakistan will bounce back. Pakistan will bounce back into reckoning because US will say Pakistan is the counter to Iran, and it will have to compete with Iran. But that means Pakistan will become important. But Pakistan also has a problem in this, which I have not put. It'll have to have Iran next door, which is another nuclear weapon. Just think of Pakistan on one side, Iran, a nuclear weapon state, on the other side, India, nuclear weapon state, and on top, China is also nuclear weapon state. So Pakistan starts getting squeezed, and then Pakistan can't say I'm the Islamic bomb. There's another Islamic bomb next door, which is on the verge of getting Islamic bomb. But Pakistan becomes important because the Saudis and the UAE chaps, they will say, "I want a bomb." They'll pressurize Pakistan. After all, they'll say, "Acha bhai, dekho, you take $20 billion from me and give me the bomb technology." So that story will start. Then Pakistan will bounce back. I'm saying about Pakistan because we should understand the implications of Iran becoming nuclear and its effect on Pakistan. If it affects Pakistan, it affects us. So, which means we should stop Iran from going nuclear, or at least persuade them from stop, uh, acquiring a bomb. So, there are a lot of issues. I'm just giving you a few more will come up. Then Definitely Israel will react. It's not going to keep quiet. And by now, Israel knows whether it is a test or not. The moment Iran becomes nuclear fully, US presence in the area will increase. All countries now will flock to US for security. And thank you, bye bye, China. So now China will have to start thinking, okay, I've nuclearized Iran. What's the repercussion on me? Okay, that big deal which that Xi Jinping fellow made between Iran and Saudi Arabia, that will go down the sink. And last, other countries in the region may consider nuclear weapons. And they'll say, this is my only path, and I have the money, and I have one guy, this beggar called Pakistan, who's got nuclear beggar. He's a nuclear beggar, no? So usko paisa de do or nuclear le lo. So that's the danger in this whole story. Okay. Now this is the, you know, interestingly, this is the Hezbollah capability. Hezbollah still has these missiles. What happens if Iran gives a missile to, a nuclear warhead to Hezbollah? It won't fire, but it will give Hezbollah. They might give it a bloody dirty bomb to them, and then Israel is finished. There are other repercussions, but this is one option. Okay. So there could be even nuclear terrorism. Now, all these factors come in. Now, I've complicated the whole thing. Let me complicate it further. Let's assume that Iran is going to launch this, on Israel as per that yellow trajectory. Now, the moment something, is afoot, first thing, surveillance will come into play. You see this satellite on top, that will start monitoring the whole area. More monitoring. So any launch thereafter by Israel will be treated as a nuclear launch. That's the thing. So nuclear launch means that, remember, while everyone says Israel will, intercept Iranian missiles, that interception can come, that shorter arrow from the Gulf by US. US has got a fleet out there. It's got, in Qatar, it is the Central Command, US Central Command is sitting. So they can hit Iran. Now, this first interception can be done on the launcher itself, in which case the nuclear weapon will be burst on Iran. So that's a possibility which Iran has to consider. And the second thing which we saw in this recent launch, out of 180 missiles which were fired from Iran to Israel, I think about 6-7 of them fell over Iran itself. What if one of them had a nuclear warhead? Then you're bombing yourself. So these are the questions which will come up when we talk of nuclear dynamics. So if it can be interrupted in the initial stage of the flight. So if it happens anywhere here, then the fallout will be on Iran. The nuclear fallout and the effects will be on Iran. So it will be almost a self-strike. Now, if it is interrupted in space, there's a fallout in space. If there's a nuclear blast in space, all the satellites in the low Earth orbit will come under risk. There are international repercussions for this. Overnight, you might start losing your GPS signals. You might start losing many things. Okay, so that's also a thing. So when people loosely talk, oh, I'll launch a nuclear weapon. So what if he launches a nuclear? So these are the repercussions. Then it could, after all, this missile has to follow this a trajectory which will take it over Saudi Arabia and other countries. So the fallout could be on a third country. Last is it could follow on Israel. So I can't stop it from hitting Israel. One might go, 20 might be blocked, but one might hit Israel. So Israel will get affected, but if 20 are hit in any of the earlier places, other countries will also be affected. So this story is not one dimensional. Whether Iran can launch is a question mark. Does it have the capability of launching? We saw so many getting intercepted. They don't have that Recce-Strike integration capability which I kept talking of. Okay. Right. So there's a game of nuclear brinkmanship which will start. There's a gap between test and weaponization. And of course, like I said, Gulf countries will flock to USA and there'll be a new nuclear race. Now, look at this. There could be a long distance attack by Israel also. So this is also on the cards. Okay. But then the next question is, can Israel attack nuclear facilities of Iran? That's the next question. Everyone says Iran will get hit by Israel. So let's examine that part also. Okay. Iran has historically targeted, sorry, Israel has historically targeted Iran's nuclear program. Okay. Through sabotage and things like that, cyber attacks, assassinations of scientists, Fakhrizadeh, and bombs. They put normal bombs on Iranian nuclear facilities. And they've retarded the whole program so far, but they have not been able to stop it. You know, the cyber attack was a Stuxnet cyber attack on their facility at Natanz, which put all their centrifuges out of action. And they couldn't pull it out. They had to build new centrifuges. Okay. Now, the next point is Iran's uranium enrichment facilities at Natanz and Fordo, where Iran produces fissile material needed to produce nuclear weapons, are either underground partially or heavily defended or fully underground. So one bomb will not take out these. So you would have major, bombs, big bombs, or deep penetrators. And USA is the only one which has deep penetrators, and those deep penetrator aircraft bombs can be mounted only on B-52 bombers, which are sitting in Digo Garcia. So will USA do that for Israel? Very doubtful. Can Israel take out everything? Very doubtful. Okay, incidentally, Iran also has a heavy water infrastructure. Okay, that infrastructure will support the plutonium path. I told you, no, plutonium U-238, put a neutron into it, becomes plutonium-239. That's bomb material. Iran is following that also. In fact, every country will follow it. We also did have it. Okay, any sensible country with nuclear technology will do it. So that's the next interesting part. The moment they have fast FDP, fast breeder test reactors, XYZ, I'm not going into the complete thing of it. And at a few places, I've deliberately told the wrong things, but that's for a reason. The moment they develop those facilities, that's the next level of technology, then they can go in for plutonium thing. Then whatever uranium they have, they can convert into bomb-grade plutonium. Okay, so these are the issues. It's really complicated. So yeah, anything can happen in this whole story. Now, let me get an idea to you. Look at India. On the left, you will have a nuclear hexagon. If Iran becomes nuclear, USA, India, Israel, Pakistan, Iran, and China. China also has a capability to be here. After all, China has this north and Xinjiang. So you're going to have 6 countries in this area which are nuclear. So the whole dynamics of this region will change. Also on, Far East, around Japan, you have Japan, South Korea, North Korea, Russia, and China, and USA. Japan and South Korea, there is a movement on, okay, look, let's go nuclear. If that happens, that's another problem. So we are in a pretty volatile environment, and that's what I thought I'll put across to all of you. And yeah, that's it. I have finished, sir, with my presentation, and I'm prepared to take any questions. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of questions with all of you because I've deliberately left out some answers.